Hey guys, this is Ponce here. As you're all well aware, I'm sure the Season 3 patch was just released today. And so I've been messing around with the stuff on live server for a while now. In theory, I could have been doing this on the test realm, but it seems better just to kind of get a good feel of what all these new masteries do in-game in sort of more realistic scenario than messing around on the test realm. So what I've done is completely recreated most of my old mastery pages, and well, I've saved them. And so I figured to make a video about that because I've been getting actually a lot of questions today about the new masteries. A lot of people aren't seeing, or they don't seem to be too sure about what to do or what put points into where, and all that kind of stuff. So I figured I'd share some of my insights on this. Of course, this is day one. It's all new stuff. So I'm sure someone's going to math craft out something that's absolutely precise and more efficient than what I have here. And you can all look back at this ancient artifact, a year from now, going, "Oh my God, these builds are so archaic. You should have done this and this and this." But you also have to keep in mind. These sort of mastery pages are also a very personalized thing. They're built to not only be mathematically perfect, but fit your own play style as well. I mean, the figures could be absolutely perfect, but if you don't play that way, I mean, that doesn't do you any good. So, yeah, let's get right into things here. My first page saved here is basically Rumble, and I have or Tanky Ap. Since I play Rumble the most, that's obviously the first thing I went ahead and made. And I've tried to recreate sort of my Season 2 playstyle with him, or the latter half of my Season 2 playstyle. Yeah, I know a lot of people like to play Rumble with defensive masteries and then sort of only go up to arcane knowledge in the offensive tree. I don't like doing that, so basically this is what I've come up with. But what I mean by Tanky AP here is technically I've tried playing this with Cho'Gath, and it might be an option with on-hit Teemo, or even AP Teemo, if that's even still viable. Although particularly in Teemo's case, I'd probably switch out to instead of defensive, I'd go right into utility and get things like Wanderer and Meditation. Wanderer in particular, like Teemo has. Wander is now like only out of combat movement speed, but Teemo is very good at kind of going and hitting once and then getting the hell out. So it'll help him gap close essentially, I guess, and be more elusive. But other than that, this is mainly meant as my Rumble page. That's all that is. Second is another very specialized page. I mean, I'll be getting into more generalized pages very soon, but for now, here's another very specialized Jarvan page. It's 21 into offense, skipping the lethality and basically anything crit related because my Jarvan build don't include any crit at all, so these 2 points are just a waste. So I just go straight down in terms of things that will increase raw damage. That differentiates this from my AD carry page. Summoner's Wrath for the Ignite. A bit of defense here, and then I saved a point. Here's the difference. Actually, this isn't the difference. This is still very close to my Season 1 page. Meditation, because Jarvan is extremely mana hungry. If you do not run Meditation on Jarvan, you will run out of mana, or you're going to be playing very passive. It's pretty much that simple, so you need that there. Passively. Next, we're moving on to AD carry with Ignite. This is very simple stuff. It is very similar to the Jarvan page. The difference being... Why are there only 2 points here? 7, 6. Oh, I see what I did here. AD carry, I can probably actually... Yeah, Jarvan needs more mana than the AD carry. That's the main difference here. There's another point in hardiness and 1 point less in meditation. And of course, how you get to 21 offense is a bit different because AD carries tend to build into crit, or pretty much always build into crit, so the crit things are there. So that's really the only difference there. We have AP carry with Ignite. This is very basic. This is almost exactly the same as Season 2. You're building right down to this. 21 in offense, and then building into Runic Affinity, so you get the blue buff longer. If you want a very defensive lane in with your your AP carry and you don't need as much mana, you know, for whatever reason you're getting it from runes or something, then I guess you technically have the option of still going into down the defense tree a little bit. But pretty much this is what I do with pretty much all basic AP carries. Of course, there's going to be exceptions. So basic AP carries, I'm just going to pick this page here. Next we have AD Defensive Jungler. A lot of junglers in Season 2 could just go right down like the offensive tree and be fine. With stuff hitting a lot harder, that's pretty much pushed most of the AD junglers that I tested into using a defensive tree. My initial build actually had points in unyielding and block to block extra champion damage, but then I realized, wait a minute, I'm not fighting champions that much. I'm in the jungle, and it's going to be very brief engagements versus champions. So I mean, these 2 talent points here benefit laners really early who are trading a lot. If you're not trading too much with enemy champions, it's not really worth it. So basically I just kind of went down like this, got to 21, and I got weapon expertise for extra armor pen. There are certain cases where a couple AD junglers I feel can, or at least do have the option of going on more offensive, 21 and 9, and scaling back the defense a bit. Like, for example, Trundle has that option because he just clears the jungle so easily and is always very safe. Although going defense is not bad on him because he's meant to be a very tankish champion anyway. So, you know, you'll have to experiment with that. That goes with your playstyle. But if you want to carry with Trundle, I mean, you definitely have the option of going down fully offensive. The other option is, I guess, Hecarim maybe can go down full offensive tree. It's another one as your mileage may vary things. I would personally stick to defensive tree on Hecarim. Another one is Skarner. Again, Skarner had benefits from going down offensive or defensive tree probably more, but you have the option of going down offensive if you really want, because those 3 that I mentioned so far clear the jungle very easily. Jax is another option actually. Jax you could go down offensive and he'd probably still be fine with a decent leash. Next we have up here support. This is a very generic support page. I know you can do some other weird things with very specific supports, but if I'm playing something like Janna or even Alistair or Soraka, I suppose, this is the basic 1-7-22 I'd use actually. Before I'd go full 9-21, but just because of the way it's working out, this is what I came up with. So 1 extra point. If I didn't go exhaust as a support, if you pick something else, let's say heal, well then you obviously have the option of going heal in the defensive tree. Or if you're not concerned about your summoners at all, you could put an extra point into, I don't know, like Mastermind, or maybe extra EXP. The other thing to note here about the utility tree, what I've done with the support, is if you're not using any active spells, or active items, if you don't like using those, or they're never included in your build, or using a champion who doesn't use actives, these 2 points in Artificers can be taken away. You can put them in something else. I know a lot of people swear by like this EXP thing. I've never done it personally. I don't really bother. I don't think it helps you that much, but some people do. So you can put them there, or I guess the other option is Mastermind. Scout, that is a very weird thing. I'm not going to experiment with that for now. So I'd personally put it into Mastermind if I wasn't going with Artificer. Okay, so next we have, what is this? This is Tanky AP with Ignite. This is a bit more of a niche kind of tree. This is, if I feel like playing a Tanky AP mid Mord, or maybe a Cho'Gath also has an option of going down 21-9. So that's when you're not your standard mid kind of thing. Might even do this top lane with Cho'Gath if I'm building sort of a tanky AP Cho'Gath. Other options are like Malphite might want to do something like this. Galio also has the option of going this way. Might want some points in... Actually, no, you don't even need meditation with the Malphite because he builds into... Or not Malphite, Galio, because he builds into Chalice pretty quick. So yeah, I'd probably do this with Galio too. Next we're going on to AP Defensive Junglers, the counterpart to the earlier, where is he, AD Defensive Jungler. Very similar. All I've done is switched around where the offensive points are. Instead of going down to weapon expertise, we've gone down to arcane knowledge here. So this is things like I'd jungle Cho'Gath with this, I guess. Maybe Nautilus. I don't know. I'm not a Nautilus player. But if you want a defensive AP jungler and you want arcane knowledge for later, if you actually want to deal damage to the enemies, this would be the route to go. Next we have AD top lane with either no mana or low mana usage, so you don't need meditation. This includes champions like Riven, Lee Sin, Darius, maybe Wukong, depending on how frugal you are with mana. It's almost identical really to the Jarvan page. It's just taken out the mana component to it, so you save 3 points and you can put them into defensive tree instead again. Yeah, so that's pretty basic there. Of course, champions like Riven, Lee Sin, Darius also have the option of going 21-9, and if you want to be a really tanky thing. Personally, I don't like that playstyle, so I go a full AD or offensive. So yeah, that's most of the champions I personally play covered. Like basically anything I'm going to play is going to be covered by these 10 saved pages here. Hopefully that helped you kind of, if you're struggling a bit with the new mastery pages and not sure where to put things, that kind of gives you an idea of what you can end up with. So yeah, I really encourage experimentation. My mastery pages are probably going to change up a decent, well, some extent over the next, I'd say, 2 months as I get used to like basically how the game works, in addition to like the changes in the mastery tree as well. The mastery trees need to actually keep up with how the game has changed as well. So it's not you're changing masteries around in a vacuum. Obviously, the masteries are not the only thing that have changed. So yeah, that's really all I have to say on the matter. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too long and rambly, but yeah, hope to see you around. Always keep in mind I live stream 1 p.m. till 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every weekday. 1 p.m. I like to say. I'm always late because I sleep in, and I don't get on until 2 or 3 o'clock. But yeah, tune in. I hope to see you in my IRC. The link is in the description below. Thanks again for watching. See you all around.